Okay, here's me doing one of these pixel balls. So you can watch along. First thing I do is take that off, obviously, we don't need that. Take the cover off, 2 screws there. This aside, the module. I'm just going to take the battery out of that, and I'll probably put that into battery recycling or something later. The solar module, not going to bother keeping that, it goes in the rubbish. And we'll drill that out using the step drill. Nice neat fit. Fairly tight fit, so that'll be watertight there, not that it needs to be. Any water that does dribble in through the threads there will go down the centre and hopefully down the tube and out the bottom anyway. Might drill a hole in the bottom of the tube so that acts as a drain hole. So at least if water gets in there, it can still get out. So now I've already chopped down these leads there, and I've got the other one. Actually, that turned out to be 1 metre from end to end. That one's about 100mm cable there. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here with my knife. So about that much. The outer jacket. So just scored that around the circumference of the jacket. And off. Yeah, I'm only using 3 wires, so I'll just strip those ones I'm using, which in my case is the brown, black and blue. Get some solder. Tin that, make sure it's tinned all the way around. And that one there. Yep. Make sure there's a decent amount of solder on there. I'll just put that out of the way for a second. Do the other one. The other end, this is the output end that links across to the next light. You sort of score it down so that it doesn't cut into the rest of it. Just score just before it cuts through to the other inner insulations. And again, I love this wire stripping tool, it's brilliant. And tin those wires, make sure they're properly tinned all the way around. Add a little bit more solder, it doesn't matter if it's got a little bit of a blob on it, it will turn out nicely later. Now, got a bunch of these pixel modules, so I only need about that much cable. So, now they've got an in and outside, you can see arrows going that way, so that's data in on that side and data out on that side, and the power just goes straight through. So, just cutting down to separate those wires. Tin these. Again, make sure you put a decent amount of solder on there. You can always flick the rest of the solder off the soldering iron. Tip later. There we go. Well done like that. This heat shrink I think is 2.4mm, so we'll chop up 6 little pieces. Got 3 wires at each end, so we need 6 pieces. So and don't forget to poke the wires through the light base first. Here's the other one. Oops. Things going everywhere. I've got that as a fairly snug fit. I've got some zip ties over here. So just so they don't get pulled through, just putting a zip tie about 10mm from the end or thereabouts. Just to act as a bit of a strain relief. If the wires get tugged on, it doesn't start pulling the whole lot, including the heat shrink joints out through it, through the holes. Okay, now that we've got that, pull those back to a similar length. Alright, so that's the output side there. It doesn't matter which side you do first. So, put the heat shrink. Now, on my wiring, due to the way I originally did it, the pin out I chose, it happened to work out for the connectors that the brown one is actually negative and the blue is positive. That's probably the opposite of what you'd expect, but ultimately you shouldn't really expect certain colours to be necessarily be certain things. So as long as you've got a wiring standard and you stick to it, I did think about changing the wires back to so that blue was negative and brown was positive, but you know, I've got other stuff that's already done like that and I'd have to redo all those things, so I'm not going to worry about that. So this is the output side, so we want to have a look to where the arrows are pointing to. The red one, in these pixels, the red one is the 12 volt line, so for me that's going to go to the blue wire. So we'll put that on there. So the middle one is ground, which for me is going to be the brown wire. There we go. And the black wire I'm using for data in my setup. When I use these with WS2801, like 4 wire pixels, the green gets used for the clock line. There's no clock line on this. So we'll slide those up. So the heat shrink's roughly halfway over those joints. Grab the heat gun. Shrunk down. And we'll get our pieces of heat shrink. Feed those over the wires. One of them's gone missing, so we'll cut a new piece. That will turn up somewhere. Probably blew off when I heat shrunk that down. So got that shrunk there. Positive. Again, it's going to go to the blue. This is the input side to the pixels we're talking about. I'm just remaking that joint there, sort of a butt joint or a lap joint. The middle one is ground, which is the brown wire. Reflow those, and because I tinned those earlier, all I have to do is put them up beside each other and soldering iron across both and just melt them together, hold them steady, wait for that to set. It's all good. So slide the heat shrink over. The joint's covered about halfway in the heat shrink. Don't need huge pieces of heat shrink, just enough to give it a margin. Okay, I can pull these down, not all the way, because if you pull them down all the way, one thing I did find is because those holes are quite close to there, any bad thing is there, they do tend to stop the the thread tends to hit them. If you put them all the way down, then you can't thread them on quite all the way. So what I do is I'll just wind it around like that and then back like that to give it the bit of a path there. I'll wind that around, hold it in place. Use the 2 original screws. Wonderful that these holes line up so nicely. I can't remember who figured that out originally. It was someone on the ACL forum. Sorry about that, I don't remember who it was at the moment. Now I'll just push those up so those zip ties are a bit away from the edge. Now tuck those green ones out the way. And wind that, thread that all the way on. Nice and tight, then just pull that through a little bit. That'll pull those zip ties down towards the bottom. So that seems to be the easiest way to do them. And now the input side, I'll just find the last light that I've already got here. I'm hot plugging them this time. There we go. Another one done. So overall it's pretty good. I've got that's 6 of them done now. So only another 10 or so to go. So hope you found that useful.